Jake comes home early to find his wife Amy with a stranger in their kitchen. After 15 years of marriage, he thought he knew her, but one anonymous letter destroys everything. Cheating? Yes. Revenge? Absolutely. This story is about how the truth comes out, and the guilty pay the price, legally, but devastatingly. Are you ready for the breathtaking twists and turns? Jake Moore wasn't supposed to be home. It was a Wednesday afternoon in Austin, Texas, and the 42-year-old owner of Moore's Auto Haven had just dodged a canceled client meeting. He'd figured he'd surprise his wife, Amy, maybe take her out for an early dinner. After 15 years of marriage, he still got a kick out of seeing her light up at the little things. But as he pulled into their driveway, something felt off. Her sleek black SUV was already there, parked crooked like she'd rushed in. Weird. She wasn't due back from her marketing gig for hours. He stepped inside their modern ranch-style home, the faint hum of the AC greeting him as he kicked off his boots. The kitchen smelled faintly of coffee, and there he was, sitting at the granite island, scrolling through his phone, until the garage door creaked open. Amy walked in, her auburn hair bouncing just past her shoulders, her navy skirt hugging her hips like it was tailored for a runway. She looked stunning, as always, her 5 feet 8 inches frame commanding the room. But she wasn't alone. A tall, blond guy in a sharp suit trailed behind her, mid-30s, with a nervous grin that faded the second he spotted Jake. Jake! Amy's voice cracked, her hazel eyes widening as she froze mid-step. Why are you home? Her blouse was unbuttoned one notch too low, showing off a hint of lace that Jake hadn't seen her wear in months. The guy, Tyler, he'd later learn, shifted awkwardly, half hidden behind her like a kid caught sneaking cookies. Jake leaned back in his chair, folding his arms across his broad chest. I live here, Amy, he said, his tone dry but laced with a simmering edge. His crooked grin flickered, the one she used to call his troublemaker smile. But this wasn't playful. Not today. Amy's lips parted, then clamped shut. She brushed a strand of hair behind her ear, a nervous tick Jake knew too well. Of course you do, she snapped, irritation flashing across her face. I mean, why are you here now? It's 3 p.m. Her words hung heavy, like she was accusing him of crashing her party. Jake's gaze flicked to Tyler, who'd stepped out from her shadow, hands shoved in his pockets. He didn't smirk, didn't gloat, just watched Jake with sharp, calculating blue eyes. Too smart to play cocky, Jake thought. That made him dangerous. Guess I could ask you the same thing, Jake said, locking eyes with Amy. What are you doing home an hour early? With company. The air thickened. Amy and Jake had been a team since they met at a car expo 16 years ago. She'd been a junior ad rep. He'd been pitching his first dealership. She'd laughed at his cheesy pickup line, and by the end of the night, he'd convinced her to grab tacos. They'd built a life together, his auto empire, her rise to marketing manager, their daughter Lila now off in Dallas. But lately, Amy had been distant. Late nights at the office. Short tempers. And then, last week, that anonymous email landed in his inbox. Photos of her with this guy, hand-holding in Zilker Park, a blurry kiss under an oak tree. He'd hoped it was a sick prank, until now. We came to talk, Amy said finally, her voice softer, almost rehearsed. She stepped closer, Tyler shadowing her like a loyal pup. This is Tyler Reed. He's the new legal consultant at my firm. We've been working together. Her pause was a confession, and Jake's stomach twisted. Working? Jake echoed, his grin fading. That what you call it? He stood, all 6 feet 1 inch of him towering over the island, his calloused hands clenching into fists at his sides. Tyler cleared his throat, offering a hand. Mr. Moore, I know who you are. Jake cut him off, ignoring the handshake. And what you are. His voice dropped low, a growl he barely recognized. Amy flinched, her perfect mask slipping for a split second. Tyler's jaw tightened, but he stayed quiet. Smart move. Jake took a deep breath, forcing calm into his veins. He'd loved Amy since that taco night. Her wit, her drive, the way she'd cheered him on through every late-night deal. But staring at her now, with this slick stranger in their kitchen, he saw a stranger too. So, he said, leaning against the counter, why don't we all sit down? Grab a drink. You two can tell me what's so urgent you had to ditch work for it. Amy hesitated, glancing at Tyler. A glass of Pinot, please, she murmured, subdued. Tyler nodded. Amy says you're a bourbon guy. I'll take one too. His attempt at charm fell flat. Jake smirked, heading to the bar in the den. Sure thing. As he poured, he heard their urgent whispers behind him, planning, panicking. He grabbed his bourbon, her wine, and a second glass for Tyler, his mind racing. This wasn't just a fling. That email had hinted at more, dates, lies, a whole double life. And Jake wasn't about to let it slide. He'd spent a week digging, plotting, and now? Now he'd turn the tables. Back in the living room, Amy and Tyler sat stiffly on the couch, a united front that made Jake's blood boil. He handed over their drinks, sat in his leather armchair, and raised his glass. To honesty, he said, voice dripping with irony. Tyler sipped, then studied his bourbon. Smooth. What is it? Maker's Mark, Jake lied, watching Amy's confusion. She knew he hated cheap blends. Thought I'd treat you. She opened her mouth, then closed it, sensing the trap. Let's cut the crap, Jake said, setting his glass down. You've got your talk. Start talking. Amy swallowed hard, and Tyler shifted, ready to play lawyer. But Jake was done playing nice. Whatever came next, he'd make sure they regretted stepping foot in his house. Jake leaned back in his armchair, the bourbon burning a slow trail down his throat as he watched Amy and Tyler squirm on the couch. The living room, with its hardwood floors and framed photos of happier times, felt like a courtroom now, him the judge, them the guilty. Amy clutched her wine glass, her knuckles white, while Tyler's cool lawyer facade cracked just enough for Jake to notice the sweat beading on his forehead. They'd come to talk, but Jake wasn't here to listen. He was here to unravel them. Let's hear it, then, Jake said, his voice steady but sharp as a blade. What's so important you had to drag this guy into our house? He nodded at Tyler, whose attempt at a confident nod looked more like a twitch. Amy took a shaky breath, setting her glass on the coffee table with a soft clink. Jake, I didn't want you to find out like this, she started, her eyes darting to Tyler, then back to him. It's not what you think. Tyler and I have been working late on a big campaign. He's new in town, doesn't know many people. We got close. Too close. But it's nothing serious, just a short-term thing. I swear. Jake's jaw tightened. A short-term thing, he repeated, letting the words hang like smoke. That why you're sneaking home early? To talk about your work, buddy? His sarcasm was a whip, and Amy flinched. Tyler jumped in, his voice smooth but strained. Mr. Moore, Jake, I get it. This looks bad. But it's not some grand affair. Amy's been stressed. I've been the new guy leaning on her. It got out of hand. We're here to come clean, that's all. He spread his hands, playing innocent, but his eyes flickered with something darker, calculation, maybe fear. Jake didn't buy it. Not after the email. A week ago, it had hit his inbox like a grenade. Your wife's cheating. Check the attachments. 3 photos, Amy and Tyler at Zilker Park, fingers laced, her laughing like she hadn't with Jake in months. A grainy shot of them kissing under a tree. A screenshot of texts. Can't wait to see you tonight, don't tell him. Then a voice clip, Amy's voice, soft and flirty. You make me feel alive again. He'd listened to it on loop, each word a knife. He'd hired a PI the next day, and the report was still burning a hole in his desk drawer. Clean, huh? Jake said, leaning forward, elbows on his knees. So you're telling me those late nights, the meetings, the way you've been dodging me, it's all just friendship? His stare bored into Amy, daring her to lie again. She swallowed hard, her composure fraying. Jake, I love you. I messed up, okay? It's been a rough year, Lila moving out, the pressure at work. Tyler was a distraction. It's over now. I want us to fix this. Her voice cracked, almost convincing. Almost. Tyler nodded, too eager. She's right. It's done. I'll back off. You two have something worth saving. His smile was plastic, rehearsed. Jake wanted to smash it off his face, but he held back. Rage wouldn't win this. Smarts would. He stood, pacing to the TV, grabbing the remote from the mantel. Fix this, he muttered, turning to face them. Funny you say that, Amy. Because I've been doing some fixing of my own. Their eyes widened as he pointed the remote and pressed a button. The screen flickered to life, a zoom window popping up. Jake, what are you? Amy started, but he cut her off. Tom? You there? Jake called. A stern face appeared. Tom Clayton, his attorney, gray hair slicked back. Tie crisp even on a video call. Loud and clear, Jake, Tom said, adjusting his glasses. Mrs. Moore, Mr. Reed, good afternoon. I'm Tom Clayton, Jake's counsel. We've got some business to discuss. Amy's face drained of color. Tyler sat up straighter, lawyer instincts kicking in. What's this about? He demanded, but his voice wavered. Jake smirked, tossing a manila folder onto the coffee table with a thud. That's the divorce petition, Amy. Filed this morning. And a little something extra from a PI I hired after someone tipped me off. He tapped the folder. Photos, texts, audio. You two didn't cover your tracks as well as you thought. Amy gasped, reaching for the folder, but Tyler grabbed her wrist. Don't, he hissed, then turned to Jake. You're bluffing. That's circumstantial at best. No courts enforcing a prenup off park pics and flirty texts. Oh, it's more than that, Jake said, crossing his arms. Tom, tell him. Tom cleared his throat. Mrs. Moore, the prenup, updated 2 years ago, signed and notarized, holds. Infidelity clause is ironclad. We've got timestamps, hotel receipts, even a witness from your office who saw you two leaving together last month. Jake keeps the house, 80% of the assets. You get 20%, no alimony. Process servers on standby if you don't cooperate by Monday. Amy's hands flew to her mouth, tears welling up. Jake, no, please, we can work this out. Tyler's cool shattered. This is overkill, Moore. You're throwing away 15 years over a fling? Jake ignored him, staring at Amy. What pisses me off more? That you let this clown into our life, or that you thought I'd be too dumb to notice? He paused, letting it sink in. But we're not done. That was just round one. The screen went black. Amy sobbed. Jake, stop this. Tyler's fist clenched, but he stayed seated. Jake waved the remote again. Round two's coming. Buckle up. He pressed the button, and another face appeared. Amy's breath hitched. Tyler swore under his breath. Jake's grin widened. Whatever they'd planned, it was unraveling fast. The living room was a pressure cooker, the air thick with Amy's quiet sobs and Tyler's shallow breaths. Jake stood by the TV, remote in hand, his crooked grin now a weapon. The first Zoom call had gutted them. Divorce papers, a rock-solid prenup, and a PI's damning report. Amy's perfect world was crumbling, and Tyler's slick confidence was peeling away like cheap paint. But Jake wasn't done. He'd spent a week planning this, and round two was about to hit harder. Jake, please, Amy whispered, mascara streaking her cheeks. We can fix this. I'll end it, right now. Her voice trembled, desperate, but Jake's eyes were steel. Tyler shifted on the couch, muttering, this is insane, Moore. You're blowing this out of proportion. Jake ignored them, pressing the remote. The screen flared to life again. John? You there? He called. A stern, silver-haired man in a suit appeared, his expression all business. Crystal clear, Jake, John King replied, his deep voice cutting through the tension. Amy froze, recognition dawning. John, she croaked. What? Good afternoon, Amy, John said, leaning into the camera. And Mr. Reed, I presume? I'm John King, CEO of Apex Advertising. Amy's boss. He paused, letting that sink in. We need to talk about your conduct. Amy's hands flew to her face, a choked gasp escaping. Tyler's jaw dropped, his lawyer cool evaporating. Jake crossed his arms, savoring the moment. Go ahead, John. John's tone was ice. Amy, your behavior's been flagged. Multiple staff reported you and Tyler leaving together. Late nights, long lunches, whispering in corners. I ignored it. Figured you'd keep it professional. Then Jake sent me the PI's report. Photos, texts, audio. It's a disgrace for a senior manager. Effective today, your role in Austin's eliminated. I'm offering a transfer, same job, lower pay, El Paso office. 1 week to decide, 30 days to move. That's it. Amy shook her head, tears spilling. John, no, I've given you 15 years. This is my life. Her voice cracked, pleading, but John's face didn't soften. You've had a stellar run, he said. That's why I'm not firing you outright. But this? Unacceptable. And Tyler, your contract's terminated. Legal consultant's a trust position, and you've trashed it. Clean out your desk by tomorrow, or it's trash. Tyler bolted upright. You can't do that. I've got rights. You've got nothing, John snapped. Owl employment. Check your terms. Jake's evidence seals it. The screen went dark. Amy collapsed into the couch, sobbing. Tyler paced, fist clenched, muttering curses. Jake watched, calm as a storm's eye. That's two, he said, twirling the remote. Ready for three? No. Amy cried, lunging toward him. Stop this, Jake. You're ruining everything. He sidestepped, her hands grabbing air, and hit the button again. The screen lit up, and a new face appeared, a striking brunette, mid-30s, with fire in her eyes. Tyler, the woman said, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. What the hell's going on? Tyler froze mid-step, face paling. Sarah, he stammered. Amy looked between them, confused, then horrified. Jake grinned. Sarah Reed, meet Amy. Amy, meet Tyler's wife. Sarah's glare could have melted steel. Ex-wife, soon enough. Jake called me yesterday, sent me the PI's file. Tyler, you lying bastard. This isn't your first fling, is it? Lisa in Denver, Kate in Houston. Now her? 3 jobs lost, 3 cities, same garbage. I'm done. Divorce papers are filed. Stay away from me and the kids. Sarah, wait. Tyler begged, but she cut him off. Save it. I've got screenshots from your little sidekicks too. You're a serial cheat, and I'm taking everything. House, savings, custody. Rod in Austin. The screen blinked out. Tyler sank to the floor, head in hands. Amy stared at him, betrayal dawning. You told me you were single, she whispered, voice breaking. Widowed, even. You lied. Tyler groaned, not looking up. I didn't want to lose you. You're different, Amy. Different? She shrieked, shoving him. You ruined my marriage for this. She turned to Jake, eyes wild. He tricked me, Jake. I didn't know. Jake's laugh was cold. Tricked you? You jumped in, Amy. Don't play victim now. He waved the remote. One more to go? This one's personal. Amy's breath hitched. No more. Please. I can't. But Jake pressed the button, undeterred. The screen flickered, and a young woman appeared. 22. Auburn hair like Amy's. Her face a mix of fury and heartbreak. Dad? She said, voice trembling. Mom? What's happening? Jake softened for the first time. Hey, Lila. Sorry you're seeing this. Amy gasped, clutching the couch. Lila? No. Jake, how could you? Lila's eyes narrowed, locked on her mother. I heard it all, Mom. Dad patched me in an hour ago. Every word. You and this creep. You disgust me. Lila, baby. Amy started, but Lila cut her off. Don't. I'm done listening. She took a breath, tears shining. I'm pregnant, Mom. A girl, due in March. But you? You're not part of this. Not anymore. The screen went black. Amy wailed, collapsing fully now, while Tyler stared blankly at the floor. Jake set the remote down, his chest tight, but his resolve iron. That's the end of the show, he said. You've got a week to get out, Amy. Tyler, 3 days, or I'll bury you legally. Enjoy your mess. He grabbed his keys and walked out, leaving them broken. The counterattack was complete, but the scars would linger. Jake stood in the doorway, keys jangling in his hand, as the echoes of Lila's words reverberated through the living room. Amy was a heap on the couch, her sobs jagged and raw, mascara painting black rivers down her face. Tyler slumped beside her, head buried in his hands, a man unraveled. The TV screen was dark now, but the weight of the 3 Zoom calls, divorce, job losses, Sarah's fury, hung like a guillotine. And then Lila, their daughter, had delivered the killing blow, pregnant, done with her mother. Jake's chest ached, but his resolve was granite. This wasn't over yet. Lila, Amy whimpered, staring at the blank screen as if she could will her daughter back. Jake, why? How could you drag her into this? Her voice was a plea, cracked and fragile, but it didn't reach him, not anymore. She deserved to know, Jake said, his tone flat but edged with pain. You made this mess, Amy. Not me. He glanced at Tyler, who hadn't moved, a statue of defeat. And you? Thought you'd play house in my life? Big mistake. Tyler lifted his head, eyes bloodshot. I didn't mean for this to, he started, but Jake cut him off. Save it. You're a liar and a leech. Always have been, according to Sarah. Jake's lips twitched into a bitter smirk. 3 jobs, 3 affairs. You're a pro at screwing up. Tyler flinched, no retort left in him. Amy staggered to her feet, reaching for Jake. Please, stop. I'll fix this. I'll end it with him. I'll beg Lila. I'll do anything. Her hands trembled, grasping at air as he stepped back. I love you, Jake. We can still be us. Jake's laugh was hollow, echoing off the walls lined with photos of their past. Lila's first bike ride, their 10th anniversary in San Antonio. Love? You don't even know what that means anymore. He pulled the remote from his pocket, twirling it. One last call. This one's for me as much as you. No. Amy lunged, but he sidestepped, pressing the button. The screen flared again, and a woman's face appeared, mid-40s, calm, with warm brown eyes behind glasses. Jake? She said, her voice steady. Everything okay? Hey, Dr. Ellis. Jake replied, softer now. Yeah, it's time. Amy froze. Dr. Ellis? Who? Dr. Karen Ellis. Jake said, turning to her. My therapist. Been seeing her since that email hit my inbox 2 weeks ago. Figured I needed someone to keep me sane while you two played your game. Tyler frowned, confused, but Amy's eyes widened, dread creeping in. A therapist? Jake, why? Because I was blind. Jake said, cutting her off. Dr. Ellis asked me something that stuck. Ever hear love is blind? I loved you so much, Amy, I didn't see the cracks. The late nights, the cold shoulder, the lies. That email woke me up, but she helped me see you for what you are. He paused, voice dropping. A cheat. A stranger. Dr. Ellis nodded on screen. Jake's been processing this, Amy. Betrayal like yours, it's a trauma. He's strong, but this hurts deeper than you'll ever grasp. Amy's knees buckled, and she sank back onto the couch, clutching her chest. I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered. I was lonely, Lila left. Work was hell. Tyler was just there. Lonely? Jake snapped. I was right here, building our life. You didn't cheat because you were lonely. You did it because you wanted to. He looked at Dr. Ellis. Tell her what you told me. Dr. Ellis adjusted her glasses. Amy, I don't condone revenge. It can backfire, stall healing. I tried to talk Jake out of this last call, warned him it'd cut him too. But he insisted. Said it's closure. She sighed. So here's my piece. What you've done doesn't just break a marriage. It fractures trust, family, self-worth. Jake's fighting to rebuild. You'll carry this longer than you think. Amy's sobs grew louder, ragged. I'm sorry, she choked out. I'll change. I'll be the wife you need. Too late, Jake said, his voice breaking for the first time. 15 years, Amy. I gave you everything, my heart, my dreams, this home. You threw it away for him. He jabbed a finger at Tyler, who flinched. And now Lila's gone too. You're not just losing me, you're losing her. The screen flickered as Dr. Ellis spoke again. Jake, you sure about this? It's a lot. I'm sure, he said, eyes locked on Amy. She needs to feel it. Like I did. The call ended, silence crashing in. Tyler finally stood, voice hoarse. You're a bastard, Moore. Dragging your kid, your shrink, this is cruel. Cruel. Jake stepped closer, towering over him. Cruel sneaking around with my wife, lying to her face, wrecking my family. You don't get to lecture me. He turned to Amy. And you broke us. Live with that. Amy curled into herself, rocking, whispering, Lila. I've lost her. Tyler reached for her, but she shoved him away. Don't touch me. You ruined everything. Jake grabbed his jacket from the chair. I'm out for dinner. Amy, you've got a week to pack. Court's expediting your eviction. Tyler, 3 days to leave Texas, or I'll see you into the ground. Got enough dirt to do it. He paused at the door, looking back at the wreckage. Enjoy your weekend. Supposed to be sunny. He walked out, the door slamming shut. The emotional hammer had fallen, Amy and Tyler were shattered, and Jake, though scarred, was free. But the pain in his chest told him healing was still a long road ahead. Jake stepped into the warm Austin evening, the door clicking shut behind him, muffling Amy's broken sobs and Tyler's stunned silence. The air smelled of mesquite and dusk, a faint breeze rustling the oaks lining their street. His truck roared to life as he peeled out, heading for his favorite diner, a hole in the wall with greasy burgers and strong coffee. He needed space, a moment to breathe after the storm he'd unleashed. The Zoom calls, divorce, job cuts, Sarah's fury, Lila's heartbreak, Dr. Ellis's truth, had left Amy and Tyler in ruins. But Jake wasn't celebrating. His heart was a bruised mess, and the victory felt hollow. Inside the diner, he slid into a booth, the red vinyl creaking under him. The waitress, a gruff woman named Rita, slid a coffee his way without asking. Rough day, hon, she said, eyeing his clenched jaw. Jake nodded, sipping the bitter brew. Rough life, he muttered. She didn't pry, just topped off his mug and left him to his thoughts. Back at the house, he'd laid it out. Amy had a week to vacate, backed by the court's fast-tracked eviction order. Tyler got 3 days to leave Texas, or Jake's lawyer would bury him in lawsuits, breach of contract, defamation, whatever stuck. The PI's report was a goldmine, and Jake wasn't bluffing. He'd spent 15 years building a life with Amy, his auto empire, their home, Lila's future, and they torched it. Now they'd pay, legally and fully. His phone buzzed. A text from Lila. Dad, you okay? I'm still processing, but I love you. He smiled, the first real one all day, and typed back, "Love you too, kiddo. Congrats again on the baby. I'll visit soon." Lila's news, pregnant with a girl, had been the one bright spot in this nightmare. Amy's betrayal had cost her a daughter and a granddaughter. Jake wouldn't let it cost him too. An hour later, he drove back, steeling himself. The house was quiet when he stepped inside, no sobs, no whispers. Amy sat on the couch, staring at the divorce folder, her eyes red and empty. Tyler was gone, his jacket missing from the rack. Jake leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "He bail on you already?" he asked, voice low. Amy didn't look up. "He left. Said he'd call later," but her voice trailed off, hollow. "I didn't know he was married, Jake. I swear. He fed me lies, and I swallowed them." Jake's jaw tightened. "Doesn't change what you did. You chose him over us. Over Lila." He pointed to the folder. "That's your reality now, 20% of the cash, no house, no alimony. El Paso's waiting if you take John's offer. Better pack." She flinched, clutching the folder. "I don't want this. I want us back." "Us is dead," Jake said, finality in his tone. "You killed it. I'm not your fallback plan." He grabbed a beer from the fridge, popping the cap. "Court says you're out by next Friday. Don't test me." Amy's head dropped, tears splashing onto the papers. "Lila won't even talk to me. She's my baby, Jake." "She's a grown woman," he shot back. "And you broke her heart too. Fix that on your own." He turned away, heading for the den. "I'm done talking." The next few days blurred. Amy packed in silence, her belongings piling into boxes, clothes, books, the trinkets from their trips. Jake stayed out, working late at the dealership, meeting Dr. Ellis twice more. "You're grieving," she'd said in their last session. "Anger's fading, now it's loss. Let it hurt, then let it go." He was trying. The rage was cooling, replaced by a quiet ache for what was. By Monday, word came from Tom. Tyler had bolted, last seen booking a flight to Denver, probably chasing another job, another fling. Sarah confirmed he'd been served divorce papers. She was taking the house and kids. Apex emailed Amy her El Paso deadline. She had 4 days left to decide. Jake didn't care where she went, as long as it wasn't here. Friday morning, Amy stood by the door, suitcase in hand. The movers had taken the rest. She looked at Jake, eyes pleading one last time. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For everything." Jake nodded, not meeting her gaze. "Yeah, me too." She lingered, then walked out, the door closing with a soft thud. He stood alone in the empty house, the silence deafening. Photos still hung, Lila's graduation, their first car lot opening. He'd keep them up. They were his now. That afternoon, he called Lila. "Hey, kiddo, how's my grandbaby?" Her laugh warmed him, a lifeline. "Kicking already. Come see us soon, Dad." He promised he would, booking a flight to Dallas for the weekend. Later, he met Dr. Ellis again. "You did it legally," she said. "They're facing consequences, jobs gone, family split. How do you feel?" "Raw," Jake admitted. "But free. I'll heal. Got Lila, the business, a future. They've got nothing but regrets." She smiled. "That's progress. Keep going." He drove home under a blazing sunset, windows down, Springsteen on the radio. Amy and Tyler had reaped what they'd sown, careers trashed, lives upended, all by their own hands. Jake wasn't whole yet, but he'd get there. The moral reckoning was complete, justice served, not with fists, but with truth. And that was enough.